Hello, welcome to the first stitch I'm going to show you, or I should say pattern. It's called the Feather and Fan, and it is a really fun pattern. And the reason why it's fun is because you only make different stitches on one row. For example, the first two rows are knit and purl, and then the third row you do a whole bunch of special stuff, and the fourth row you knit. So you only need to focus on that one row. And in that one row, what you do is you're going to knit two together several times. I'm sure if you don't already know how to knit two together, all you do is you put your needle into two stitches and you knit them together. It's that simple. So it's knit two together 3 times. Oh, I did one that time. Knit two together 3 times. And then you do a series of yarn overs. I know all of you know about yarn overs because when you were learning the rib knit, you did it accidentally several times. You know, when you're changing from the front to the back, right? Knit stitches on the front, purl stitches on the back. It's very easy to get a yarn over. Well, now we're going to do a yarn over on purpose. So now, even though I'm knitting, I'm going to pull my yarn to the front, and then I'm going to knit the next stitch. I'm going to do a yarn over and knit. Yarn over and knit. I'm going to do it 6 times. That was 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and then you knit 2 together 3 times. So 1 knit together, 2 knit 2 together, and 3 knit 2 together. And that is really the only unusual row that you do. Then on the next row, which is knit, you will knit all of those stitches, all the yarn overs and the knit 2 togethers. And what you get is this beautiful lace pattern. So why don't you guys try this if you don't already know what you're going to do for your final special knitted swatch. It's fun, and it's really actually, once you get into the groove, it becomes quite easy. Good luck. Let's do that one more time, okay? This is the Feather and Fan, and remember, we're going to knit 2 together 3 times at the beginning. So I'm knitting 2 stitches together there, knitting 2 stitches together there, and knitting 2 stitches together there. Now for the yarn overs, I'm going to bring my yarn to the front and knit 1. Yarn to the front and knit 1. And I'm going to do that 6 times. I have 3 more to do. Then you end with 3 knit 2 togethers. 1, 2, and 3. And that was the special row within the Feather and Fan. I'm also going to include the pattern on O-Space and G Drive. Okay? Another pattern is coming up next. The second knitting pattern we'll be talking about is the fluted fabric stitch. The reason I love this pattern is because the only change between knowing a knitting and a purl stitch is that you will slip a stitch with the yarn in the front or the back, and that creates this wonderful woven pattern. Another thing I'd like to show you is that I'm sure you've come across this on the internet or in books where they tell you it's a multiple of 4 stitches plus 1. So for example, I cast on 13 stitches. 4 times 3 plus 1 is 13. That 1 is the setup stitch, the P1 right here. And then the pattern is from asterisk to asterisk. And so it says repeat from asterisk. That you just keep going. So this, what you start doing a purl, and then a knit one. And here is your slip stitch. You bring the yarn to the front. It says with yarn, slip 1 with yarn in front, WYIF. So I'm going to slip it with the yarn in the front, and then I have a knit, a purl, and a knit, and I slip 1 with the yarn in front, a knit, a purl, and a knit. I slip 1 with yarn in front, a knit, and a purl. That is row 1. Another thing I like about this is it only has 2 rows that you repeat over and over again. So keeping count is a lot easier as well. So we knit 1, that's our setup stitch, and then we slip 1 with yarn in back, then we purl, slip 1 with yarn in back, then we knit, slip 1 with yarn in back, and then we purl, slip 1 with yarn in back, then we knit, slip 1 with yarn in back, then we purl, slip 1 with yarn in back, and then we knit. Your yarn's already in the back. So you see how you kind of get into a rhythm? This is the back, which is nice looking. I think that could be your front. And this is the front, which the more you make, it has those lovely waves or ribs. It'll get more pronounced the more you knit. So this is another pattern that you could do, that you adding a simple slip 1 with the yarn in front or back creates this very interesting texture. Why don't you try it? Good luck.